People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian. Man. Come on. You always just have to when like defenders have been given like. Sammy Maltbell has said Mikel Arteta is close to signing a new contract at Arsenal. We've been linked with Morgan Rodgers, Anthony Gordon, Livramento, and etc. Seems quite the day for Arsenal Football Club, and we all need to remember in 48 hours' time, we've got a very difficult test against Bournemouth. We're finally back in Premier League action. Of course, we, arrested the rut, quote unquote. Time will tell, but we beat Sporting Lisbon. I don't want to remind you lot that we lost the League Cup final and we're out the FA Cup. So yeah, man, it was doomsday where the domestic cups are concerned. The Champions League and the Premier League dreams are still alive. We've got it all to do. And I'm going to ask you lot off the cuff, people, because this is no doubt going to be dominated by Mikel Arteta. But you saw the pause there. I need to find my manners, because without you lot, the platform wouldn't be it. So before we discuss Mikel Arteta, this thing, that thing, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night, depending on where you lot are. Big up to you lot that's part of the live and you lot on the replay. Now, as I was saying before, I, had to remember my manners. How do you lot feel about a Mikel Arteta new deal, potentially? Is it for you? Does he have to do it with contract? Does he have to win a title, etc.? This is what I've been saying for weeks and months. For me, it's almost a non-story, whether I believe he does or doesn't. And to be honest, I need to do my own research and weigh up the pros and cons around this. He's going to get a new deal. Mikel Arteta's success staying at Arsenal isn't necessarily contingent on if he wins the Prem or the Champs. Do not shoot or a trophy. Don't shoot the messenger. That's just genuinely what I feel in it. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button. We'll get into the articles and whatnot. But you lot are the stars, man. Karma, appreciate you. As the lady said, hit the like button. New contract for what? Already on 15 million a year. Should avoid distraction and deal with this in a few months. To be honest with you, they've probably been talking all season. And when the season's done, it'll probably progress. Of course, if we're talking about sacking Mikel Arteta, this ain't my thoughts. But, logically, if they're going to get rid of Mikel Arteta, you could actually relate this to Arne Slot. They have to be drawing up lists of tangible targets, whether that's a new upcoming manager like Mikel Arteta when we grabbed him in the first place. The dream would be Luis Enrique, etc. Our club don't operate like that, so it's a non-story. Obviously we want to win silverware. There's been a lot of money spent. As you said, he's on 50 million a year, but I don't think it was on that. We are competitive. Revenues coming into the club. As long as there's some context, the guy's not going to lose the job. He's never going to be in a position where if you don't deliver a trophy, you're going to get sacked, because we came into this season feeling that way about those above Arteta himself, and obviously the players, people. So, yeah, big up Rob, man. Chat's going to be lively today. I mean, we're the most underrated YouTube channel out there, so I don't know, but I appreciate you. Afternoon, DG in the chat. BG right back at you. Arteta has progressed Arsenal tremendously, but it'd be great to see some good attacking football. Time for new blood. Sadiq, appreciate you. Linz, appreciate you. Train, appreciate you. Big up the Twitch gang. Run me MLS 30 mil with some nice ads on DG. Big up the Liverpool fans. And Ethan, you've been talking a lot of crap, talking about my club being anti-football. Come to the front. All of you Liverpool fans that are in my chat, come to the front, because that was entertaining for me watching PSG deal with you. They even showed you mercy. You lot went to a back five, relying on long throws, 26% of the ball, no shots on target. When you spent 500 million, where generational Florian Wirtz is out there, where Hugo Ekitike is out there, where Isaac's out there. Poor old, well, not poor old Salah, because you're getting 400 grand a week, but poor old Salah, he's better off playing for the 21s, isn't it? My hot take around Salah is, and I know you've got Isaac coming back to form, and I know you've got Hugo Ekitike. They need to do the Cristiano Ronaldo thing. His legs are gone, slap him up front. Obviously, a lot of, he's not got his shooting boots, but it's time for Salah to stop being a right winger. But this is about Arsenal. If it came down to it, I'll always choose getting rid of Arteta ahead of the Hale Enders. He's killing the club culture and just bringing Spanish mid players instead. I do think we need more sure bets and level raisers, but I won't say he's destroyed the culture. If anything, I don't subscribe to the whole he's built the club and whatnot. He's restored what we should be doing. He's got us here. For me, the big question mark is I do think you're a genius in terms of your tactics. I do think you're a good manager. There's a lot of praise for Mikel Arteta, but you're a good manager. We're a good team. I want to have a great manager and a great team. And that, for me, is why I think every card should be on the table. And for me, the only way to do that is now getting over the line. And I think a lot of people want to have their cake and eat it. I think even Arteta is harsh his critics. Well, probably not because, yeah. But the man's a good manager, right? One of the best in the league and potentially in the world. I'm not saying he's top 5, the best, whatever, but he is. We've shown whether we win, lose, or draw, we can compete. We don't really get drummed in anymore. You go through some of our players on their day, they're top 5 in their position, world class, top class, whatever. We've had a couple of bites at the cherry and got so close, but so far from the league. So if you really rate the gaffer, the players, and etc., it's a fair question to ask why we have not got silverware yet. Hopefully, this is the 4th time lucky. We've got 2 more chances, people. And yeah, man, it is what it is. MLS to the theatre. You lot still on about that? Good news, Arteta signing a new contract. Big up yourself, Hyper. I don't think he deserves a new contract. I'm waiting for the call. After Southampton, he can win the double, and I still want him gone at the end of the season. I don't look forward to our games no more. Yeah, let's be a bit sensible. Like, I have seen that rhetoric. If he wins the Premier League, he's going to be gone. That's a non-starter. The culture at the club has been destroyed. Skelly and Wanyeri being sold is just a nail in the coffin. How has it been destroyed? I'm not saying you're wrong, but like, this is sounding a bit emotional from all of you lot. How has it been destroyed? Like, genuinely, how has Arsenal's culture been destroyed? Because granted, I want Lewis Skelly and Wanyeri to stay, but how has it been destroyed? Because all the things anyone that understands sport, all the things they mocked the gaffer around. This ain't, you don't know, I'm no Mikel Arteta apologist. I'm never just gonna slag the man off for no reason. Like, there's pros and cons, and as a club, we shoot ourselves in the foot. All the things from the Anfield, playing the Anfield music to planting trees to win the dog, people pickpockets, people can laugh at that. But anyone that understands building teams, especially in sport, let alone in the working place, you need to do all of that. He has done that. The standards are higher than they have been. There's certain non-negotiables, and I'm talking more for the players. How has he destroyed the culture? Because you lot know I love Wenger. Arteta could win every trophy in the world from now to the end of the season. Well, now to the end of time, you're never going to be bigger in my estimation than Arsene Wenger, because his legacy not only has something to do with Arsenal, transcends sport, but he's reset those values that the Wengers, the George Grahams, those before him had in it. He's reset that. Youth players are coming through, whether they're sold or not. Youth players are coming through. We're fighting for trophies. And as I said, I am not happy to just be fighting for trophies. We just need to use common sense. I'm always going to push back on things I disagree with. Not saying I'm right, not saying you're wrong, but how has he destroyed the culture? By all means, there's certain things Mikel Arteta is guilty of, but that he's going to bust case. He hasn't destroyed the culture. How? How has he destroyed the culture? Because if we just wanted to, whatever we think about the guy, yeah, when he walked in 2019, if he left now, are we in a better position? Are we in a better position? Are we in a better financial position, in a more competitive position on the pitch, to the point where some say, you know what, some of you that draw out the guy, you say, you know what, if Arteta cuts, a next man could come in, look around this bunch and get over the line. So how has the culture been destroyed? Genuinely, how has the culture been destroyed? I'm therefore frustrated. I think we shoot ourselves in the foot. I do think Mikel Arteta, it's time to deliver. I would like, if you could listen to a Luis Enrique, whatever, you don't win trophies. I'm not saying I want you gone, but that was my thinking last season. This is where I've kind of checked out from this whole debate. You need to deliver now. At some point, you have to try something new. And at some point, if we keep doing the same things are going to happen. But destroyed the culture, really? Young players are coming through, whether they make it here or not. We're competitive again. We shoot ourselves in the foot. We are the reason we ain't won a Prem in the last 3 years, or progressed in certain other competitions. So how has he destroyed the culture? Like, please show me a working out. Not a fan of getting rid of Skelly and Ethan, but I can't say I'm surprised. If I'm them, I'm going on loan or cutting, bro. You never know. Next season could produce something different. But yeah, Skelly cooking rice at Old Trafford will be there. I've hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and joined as a member. Have you, Rob? You're far too kind. I don't like all this transfer and contract talks all this time. They need to focus and leave all of that for the summer. I don't care about a stupid title when it means we destroy our DNA and sell our Hale End talents for the likes of Odegaard instead of Wanyeri. I genuinely despise this. I want Wanyeri to stay, but let's not play down Odegaard, please. Odegaard's a significantly more experienced player, and Odegaard signing for this club has coincided. When Odegaard come in to where we are now, I'm not even, listen, you don't know how much I'm on to Odegaard. That's emotional. our DNA of our football club. Listen, Mikel Arteta, I don't think Miles Lewis Skelly or Wanyeri should be sold. They should be here. But players have come through in the academy. Players have played in big games. Our academy is pumping out talent from Bukayo Saka to the young Max Dowman. How have we destroyed our DNA? And what do you mean you don't care about a title? You can't have your cake and eat it. You can't say we need to be harsh, unpopular decisions and cry when certain things are not happening. If life was fair, we'd all have a lot less. Relating that to football, I wish it was fair. I wish Lewis Skelly, Wanyeri, this one, that one, all got fair minutes. But we might not have the points on the board necessarily. And just to make it clear, I am not happy with Miles Lewis Skelly and Norgard in particular not making substitute appearances. I didn't want Wanyeri to go out on loan. I told you lot in August, by Jan, the man will be out on loan. And if they come through the academy, they've played, they've had some highs at Arsenal, and they're sold on for, let's just say, Lewis Skelly and Wanyeri are 50 mil a pop. They've come from Hale End all the way to the first team, been sold. Bob's your uncle. What are we talking about? Like, what are we, like, genuinely, what are we talking about? Like, this is what I mean. Like, by all means, get onto the guy, yeah? But get onto the guy for the things that he should be, that we should get onto. For me, not getting over the line. For me, not evolving us tactically in terms of attacking play. A lot more proactiveness is required in the final third. I also feel, as much as I like what you've done, Arteta, you've had, not that there's been many, you've reaped the fruits of the seeds that Arsene Wenger planted, in it. We've got peas, we've got everything. So I struggle to understand. They're done all right, but I'm tired of the expensive experiments. 65 on Kai, 50 odd on Noni. Get where I'm going with this. I think collectively as a club, we shoot ourselves in the foot. Because we've got more injuries can happen, but we've got more players now than we ever had. We've been dealing with injuries since August, but there's this. And there's still that tax I have to apply with attackers. I told you lot in the summer, I was gassed about Gyökeres, gassed about Eze. I thought it was naive if you think you just slap them both on the pitch and we're done. I think you could put any defender in our team, they'll look better. I can't say the same about attack. And to say you don't care about stupid title, it's all profit inspired. None of it is talent based. They're both good enough to play. They therefore are. And I agree with that. Pardon me. Dalman will spin the man. Shut up, man. Ethan should leave for his own sake. As for MLS, we are not trying him in midfield. We might as well sell. Unfortunately. No way, man. I'm crying. Bro, you're allowed to cry, but cry about the right stuff, bro. Like, cry about the right things. This ain't the place for emotional analysis, bro. Like I said, proactiveness, expensive experiments, attacking play, loyalty to certain players and not the same shown elsewhere, an element of complete. Because at the end of the day, Mikel Arteta, you've gone from being a head coach to the manager. You've won all the player battles. You get what you want from a coach in front. You can notice how there's no Kroenke out, this, that, and the other. Why? Because it doesn't make sense. They've invested peas. Berta's come in now. We've seen in the last 3 years several other four, if you include this year, to be fair, different players, different people above board. The one consistency has been the gaffer. I can praise Arteta on one hand, I can criticize him on the other. I am not an Arteta, like just drawing him out and stuff. I'm not an Arteta apologist. I care about the football club more than anything. The club is bigger than me. It's going to be big. It's going to be here. It's been here before it's here. It's here when we're gone. So by all means, draw him out with certain things, not getting over the line, not taking cups seriously, not rotating where you could, not pivoting away from the tactics and things. These are the things that Arteta has to be held accountable. These are the counts. If he goes to court, these are the counts. You're not busting that. They've seen your CCTV. Killing the club's culture, you're out. You've bust that. Lawyer can get you out of there. The judge is going to throw that one out. That don't make no sense to me personally. And I do think, I think on one hand, as a fan, I think it should have been wait or see in it. You win a league, you get your trophy. At some point, we have to try something new. When I consider how our clubs run, we like longevity, how the Cronkies maneuver. I genuinely think if you're genuinely, like, if we walked into this season and say, yo, Arteta has to win something, no, he's gone. From August, you have to be keeping contacts warm with Luis Enrique, Joe Bloggs, whatever manager will come in if it's become clear that the position's untenable. They clearly are of the thinking at the club that he's our man regardless. As long as there's not an epic fallout, like we're finishing 8th again, we're collapsing, we're getting battered, you're going to keep your role. You're going to keep your role. You've seen James Ellis leave, couple of people above Mikel Arteta leave. It's basically been a year or so now that Berta's come in. They've signed new players to they've signed new players. New guys have come in on new contracts. It's extremely naive if you think they're going to clip Mikel Arteta. Don't shoot the messenger. This is how I look at the whole blueprint. So yeah, man. I don't believe the MLS news. Not an Arsenal fan, but he's only 19. It depends because clearly Arteta, maybe next season there's different things. Maybe it's just not the right time. Maybe there's certain things MLS has to bring into his game. You don't believe in him in midfield. You don't believe in Norgard in midfield to the point where I don't even think you wanted Norgard like that. Because it's one thing starting them, it's another thing sub appearances. It's Rice or Zubi. That's it. You don't want to try nothing else. So there's either something MLS doesn't have to his game that you don't want to bust him in there. Left back, we've changed actually building out from the back as well. Kala, Hincapie are all ahead of him. Push comes to shove. I think he's more likely to pull Timber back to the left-hand side and Ben White. And Wanyeri, unfortunately for you, Dalman's the one he wants to put. In fact, even Dalman coming through, as much as I want them all to stay, Dalman a bit younger, he might give more confirmation. You lot cut. I think everything's on the table with them. They could go on loan, they could be sold, or they could have futures here. And of course, for me, bro, Dalman, Lewis Kelly, Wanyeri, Bukayo, and the random 12, 13-year-old who the next couple of years is going to be lit, they have to stay. But there is an element of, if you're Josh Kroenke, and this is, again, if our owners were different, they have to sit there and go, yo, you know what, I've given you peas, 50 mil a year, brought in Berta, done this, done that. You know, it's well known that not everyone was convinced at the club with bringing in Marino, Kai, Noni. Arteta won his weight. If you don't deliver, you need to cut. But that's not how we're operating. This is why, and again, Arteta, the reason why I'm harsh on you and screaming we need to win a league or certain things need to happen is because I actually rate you. I actually rate you. But yeah, unfortunately for 1 year, it's the pathway. Rightly or wrongly, Kai is going to play in midfield ahead of you. Marino's going to play there ahead of you. Norgard can barely get a game. He's going to play there ahead of you. You're probably fighting with MLS for that, but you're probably ahead of him. Odegaard and Eze and Trossard in the 10, these men are going to play ahead of you in that role. So it is a pathway. Part of me wants to really just hold on for the last year, for the next year or two, 18 months, because the Odegaards, the Kais, the Marinos can't be in there forever, man. It is emotional, and that's why they're doing it. They're killing the emotion in the club. You really believe they're killing the emotion in the club? Fair enough. MLS can use this summer to get in the team pre-season in a World Cup year as the best opportunity for young players. With MLS with Ethan and MLS, there are young G's, but them man don't suit Arteta's football. For MLS, we have centre-backs as full-backs, and he isn't trusted in midfield. Ethan is our fifth choice cam. So we're just going to become a conveyor belt for selling our youth talent now. What Dalman next? Please stop it, DG. Nobody said that, but boy, you guys don't understand the importance of Hale End is what I'm understanding. Tasha, with the greatest of respect. Me. Of all Arsenal fans on the internet, me don't understand it. You must be new here. Me. No, not one of you in the most respectfully, in the most humblest way. None of you, unless you're actually in the professional game, especially when it comes to Hale End. Me, not a single person in this YouTube comments ever, especially a YouTube content creator, can never, ever, me, CJ, deluded. Hale End, you have to be new here. You have to be. And unfortunately, rightly or wrongly, these men might leave and we're saying, why were they sold? Not every young G can make it. This is coming from me. What do I always say on my fucking YouTube channel? I want 11 Hale Enders. I've made it crystal clear. There should be no reality where at this moment in time, Wanyeri, MLS, these guys are sold. Unfortunately, it's a reality. The club obviously have given new contracts to certain players. They have spent X amount of money. We have not sold well. We have mediocre experienced players on some massive wages. A big part as to why Berta was brought here, obviously, he's way better than Edu. He's seasoned. He knows how to do negotiation. It was to bring in finances. If you're looking at bringing genuine money, like the players either on loan or genuinely at this club that are linked with moves away, it's going to be Wanyeri and MLS that are going to be the ones that bring in the most money. Rightly or wrongly, unpopular decisions have to be made. They're going to sit there and go, it's 100% profit. They're not really in the team like that. They're young and boom, minimum 50 mil pop. That's 100 million. What's even more important, in my opinion, than bringing money into this club is what we're doing with our existing resources. Reece Nelson, Berta, I love Nelson, has to go 100 bags a week. Fabio Vieira must be moved on. Gabriel Jesus must be moved on. Who else is there? The Martinellis, the Trossards, the Kai Havertz's, the Marinos. These are unpopular decisions. And by the way, Mikel Arteta, what I don't want, there's no more Nonnies than Kais and them kind. Pick them up. And Marinos, there's no more the Banduli Dons. Every attacking player, fuck it. Every player from in midfield and up front has to make sense. It has to make sense. No more seasoned, unseasoned project players that have been around in the Prem. You want to go get youths from Brazil or the four corners of the world, even if there's four corners, go and do that. Me, you know. Because way before you lot knew what the fuck a MLS was, who's making them vids? You thought that was an ball? Are you man mad? Go and, do you know what I love about YouTube? Go and type in Delulu Goon on any one of these young players years ago. Disgusting. Don't you ever try and style this, bro. Remember, you're in the mainstream. Don't you ever try to style me about Hale End. I hold me. And I'm with you, look. I dream of a world of 11 Hale Enders. We win the Premier League champs. Max Dalman, Wanyeri, Lewis Skelly, this one, that one. You get me? There's pictures of them holding the big trophies. How fucking dare you? Me. The whole reason I started YouTube channels was to talk about youth football. Are you fucking mad? And even forget that. We can go deeper than Hale End. First YouTuber to speak on Morgan Rodgers. Allow me. Jude Bellingham, allow me. They're lucky I've taken a bit of a break, but clearly I need to bring back my crown. Are you fucking dumb? Like, are you fucking dumb? Big up yourself, Tasha. I'm not attacking you. I'm just speaking. And unfortunately, not everyone can make it here, bro. It's a success in itself. It's a success in itself. The academy has done what it's needed to do. Bring players into the first team. You're going to go have a career. If my MLS and Wanyeri don't make it here, of course I'm going to have a bitch and a moan, especially if they go to where I believe they can. But you're already... Any young footballer that's in an academy and progresses in and around the Prem setup, look at the dynamics. Look at the dynamics. I hate to be the guy I told you so, but what did I tell you in August? The easiest ones to leave out will be the young Gs. Dalman has changed a bit now, but he's 16. He can be in and out of the match day squad. MLS, it's a bench thing, but they'll leave you out. Wanyeri, the same. They'll leave you out. I told you in August, Wanyeri will be on loan in January. They don't want to listen. Why does it keep doing? The whole premise is to become a professional footballer. You've done that. There's a pathway at Hale End. It will be Smith Rowe, Reece Nelson, Eddie Nketiah. The list goes on. MLS and Wanyeri. My heart bleeds because last season was a movie. Max Dalman's obviously there. There's a lot of work we need to do in the academy. I think we can make Balogun as well. There needs to be more players coming from the academy, sold on for profit, making it in our first team. And what I would say is, I need to see more all-rounders because I look at Cobham. I know, not gassing up Cobham. It don't really matter if you're, within reason, a goalie or striker. They bring 3 players. Us, it's more the midfieldy. Big up Marley Salmon. And that's why I'm rooting for him even more. Us, it's more the midfieldery attackers. And it don't always have to be stars that come from the academy. I'm praying for a calm, steady Eddie. At times, we've had a crisis in our back 5, but let's just... back 4, apologies. Keepers, it ain't been that. At fullback. Imagine you just had a calm right back that just came from the academy. He's not a star per se. He just does his job. There's that confidence. Come on, man. Come on, man. As a mother with a son in football, all boys do under 16 is talk about the dream of playing at Hale End. It's pure dream and inspiration for them. Okay? And to go back to that, yes, an academy has to be a conveyor belt. It does. It does. FYI, football's ruthless. These clubs don't care about you. These clubs do not care about you. That every club, yeah, of course they care, but they don't. Once you sign that deal, they don't care. You're either going to make money or progress to the first team. They don't care about your dreams. They don't care. This is why I always say footballers, old clubs, nothing. My regular viewers can attest to this. Are we going mad? Are we going mad, Riley? One love. Arteta definitely needs to improve his squad management. And for me, the biggest thing going back to Arteta, I'm just not on this Arteta to the world and back thing. I need trophies. I only care about my football club. Everybody that's connected to my football club support you. I only care about my football club because I think one day Mikel Arteta will win a Prem, win a champs. I think he's got better potential. Unless you do that at Arsenal Football Club, I don't care. I don't care. Because what I don't want you to do is learn what you need to learn here, F off somewhere, and then, years ago, I did that at Arsenal. It didn't work. Let me do this. And obviously, if you do things different in life, you get different results. So, yeah. 1 out of 3, the people who want Arteta out, even if he wins trophies, are the same people who never wanted him in the first place and never changed their minds. 2 out of 3, now they see we are very close to getting the title over the line and they can't accept that. So their narrative is style of play, destroying our identity to justify the Arteta out. For me, Arteta, until you get over the line, you could be the man before the man. I'm on everything. You can stay, you can go. I know I want Prems. Like, I want trophies. You've made it a reality. That's it. By this point, I think I've gone through that. Boston, one love. DG interviewed some of the Hale End players. I remember you interviewed John Jules. Shout out John Jules, bro. Not just like the Amaris, all of these. And half of these players, people crashed out on. Dead, man. Dalman's not going anywhere anytime soon, bro. Come on. Big up DG. Let's just get the title over the line. I'm with that. Sell Havertz, Jesus, Trossard, leave Hale End alone. Someone needs to have a word, because I shouldn't be gone. It shouldn't. I more care about us looking after the wages. Unfortunately, Ben White, love you. You need to be moved on. Jesus, it's horrible. Need to be moved on. Everyone forgets Fabio Vieira, Reece Nelson, this one, that one's at the club. So yeah, man. Man, I'm mad. Me, you know. Me. DG's mic is moving like SLDH. I don't know what is going. Me, God, no one on this planet style me about you football and academy on YouTube. You guys mad. If Ben White left, would you sign Wesley from Roma? Not convinced on him defensively, but I did enjoy his last appearance for Brazil, man. The pathway isn't organic, though. It's being manufactured by pure profit greed. MLS and Ethan have the ability to play regularly, but it's being stopped for the fraud. Odegaard and Havertz emotional based on the second thing, but we're going around in circles, man. Ain't no way we're about to get rid of our academy players only to keep players like Havertz and Odegaard. Is anybody like forthcoming for bids for Odegaard and Kai? They're on big wages. The young G's, there's potential there. They might want to go. Do you get it? That's what's going to happen. And half of the all you lot saying play these guys on a regular basis. I'm not saying anyone in particular, but one thing that pisses me off, everybody wants these young players to play. You play them in 10 games, and the first 3-4, they're amazing. They have because they're trying to add consistency. When they're now shaky, I'll get them out. And I am you mentioned not so much Odegaard, Kai Havertz, Madueke, these kind of signings, these kind of players, like it needs to stop now. That's it. Any attacking player that don't make sense, don't bring them to the club. The only place I can say 100% I trust Mikel Arteta is defense. A new contract with no trophy is crazy work. Broski, it was always going to be. As long as you're competitive, we're not crashing out of anything. He was always going to get the deal, bro. He was always going to get that. He was always going to get that. So I know there's emotion, but this is why I'm not genuinely as pissed off as I should be, if I'm honest. But yeah, man, let's get into the article. Arsenal's big summer. Arteta contract and Wanyeri and Lewis Skelly futures. Sammy Maltbell said this. For Arsenal, it's all about the here and now. 7 games from winning their first Premier League title in 22 years and within touching distance of Champions League semi-final. Mikel Arteta is on course to come good on his mantra, trust the process. Do we agree with that? Respectfully, bro, we're just at a different stage when it comes to Arsenal. Ignorance is bliss, man. Fair play. That said, there's no, and again, one thing I hate about my football club or rhetoric around my football club, I think there's too much focus on being negative. There's many of things to genuinely be negative about, but the negative stuff without basis of being negative and the same logic with being toxic positive pisses me off. And I do think those in the media, not saying Sammy Maltbell, they've got vested interest in it. The process is done. The process was done 3-4. The process probably done 3 years ago. The end of that 2022-23 season, that was the end of the process. It was to make us competitive again. Now it's just about winning, getting over lines, doing all of these kind of things, in which Arteta, as I said, show me what you're on in that regards. Get over the line. If you can't get over the line, at some point, you can't keep doing the same things and expecting different results. We're so close, but yet so far. And I do think as a club, the players included, Mikel with your tactics, the good, the bad, and the ugly, we have this element of shooting ourselves in the foot. The last 3 years, it's not to discredit what anybody else has done. But before I could praise Liverpool, etc., I spend an extreme amount of time believing we've shot ourselves in the foot for whatever reason. Sweet gig, though. 15 mil a year, probably get a bit of a bonus on that. The summer is seen as an opportunity for the club to take another step forward, regardless of how this season pans out. But there are some crucial decisions looming. There's Arteta's own contract, which is up at the end of next season. Then there's a question of who to let leave the club to help fund the signing of 3 key new players. I would imagine there'll be more offers and interest in a Wanyeri and a Miles Lewis Skelly than Gabriel Jesus, who can't stay fit, is on big wages. Benjamin White, love him to bits, kind of the same rhetoric. Reece Nelson hasn't pulled up any trees on loan, big wages. Fabio Vieira, we're praying on Hamburg. We'll get into that. That's my point. I more want to get rid of those players regardless of what I feel about my Hale Enders, because the wages, that's really what we want. Resources. At present, it appears the club will listen to offers for top England prospects, Miles Lewis Skelly and Ethan Wanyeri. Academy players can be counted as pure profit in the accounts, so it would provide the biggest transfer fund boost. BBC delves into all the issues that will shape Arsenal summer and why renegotiating the manager's deal is the priority. Okay, can we just get to the facts rather than think pieces? In the era of the head coach, Arteta, bro, listen, please just, I'm going to try my best to skip through the nuts and bolts of it and let's just get into actually why we're here in it. We know we won an FA Cup and even silly things like, again, Arteta, I don't think this is a decision you will lose sleep over, but 6 years, first cup final, play Raya in it. Raya could have made a mistake, but Raya's mistake would have been more akin to what he did in the North London derby a few years ago when he played a pass for Partey. I do think you're not learning from certain things, and it's quite annoying. Nonetheless, so it's perhaps surprising with the attention to detail that Arteta will soon be in the final year of his contract. It's understood discussions have taken place and are described as heading in a positive direction. Given the magnitude of what is on the horizon on the pitch, all parties are understood to agree that it isn't the right time with the full focus on the season finale. But sources have indicated that talks will restart in the close season. From the ownership and club's perspective, extending Arteta's deal is what they want, and the manager is also keen to commit. Both parties want to build on their work together. We know we're 9 points clear in the Premier League. You know, we're on the cusp of being in back-to-back Champions League semi-finals for the first time in our history. Back-to-back, top of the Premier League, more points than Invincibles. All these statistics, I like them. It reflects that we're a good team. I'm not interested in that because I know we're a good team. We're meant to be a great team because all I'm interested in, Arteta, you talk about trophies. Every one of you players talk about trophies. Go and rise it up. Go and rise it up because we're in a deficit in the last 4 years. We're in a deficit in the 20-odd years that we've... Fucking hell, it's been 20 years since we moved to the Emirates. Time flies, innit? So, yeah, that's what I'm on. You'd imagine that Arteta will be aware that he's unlikely to be afforded the level of influence he currently has at any other club in Europe, which is true. And there's other occasions where he could have, should have, and maybe would have been sacked. Let's not act like naive, like Arteta does not know that. Let's not act that he doesn't know that he's got a sweet gig. Them man there above him probably don't know what's going on. You know, I bet Arteta trolls Josh Kroenke as well, man. He probably says, have you ever heard of 4-3-3? Oh my God, he's so innovative. Big up Josh though, because nobody can draw out the Kroenkes. The only thing Kroenkes can get drawn out about is this stuff. And there probably is an element of, I'm not saying Arteta will get every job, but let's be real. Any top club that gets rid of their manager, even if it's just for bats, I'm not saying he will feature on the shortlist. The same way maybe prior to Spurs, but probably still now, a Thomas Frank, a De Serbi, a Jabi Alonso. You need to approach this without whatever you think about Donny in it. So, yeah. Yeah, with that said, finances will be a key factor once discussions recommence. Arteta is understood to want assurances that the club remain committed to providing the level of backing that has kept the team competitive. There will also be an issue of what will be an upgraded, I'll never say that word, but an upgraded, let's say, financial package for Arteta. It's understood the 3-year contract Arteta signed in 2024 is worth 10 mil a season plus a further 5 mil triggered by Champions League qualification. Yo, mashing bread still. Only the salaries of Pep Guardiola and Simeone are understood to eclipse Arteta's existing contract in European football. So this is why I believe in you. I believe in this team. You're getting paid mad peas. You know me, I don't really care what a guy's getting paid, but you're getting paid mad peas. Rise up some silverware. You've been getting richer because of the Champions League. But this is what I always say. What are the genuine KPIs at Arsenal? Like, I have no doubt Arteta and them man there want to win trophies. Maybe you don't even doubt Josh. But what are the KPIs? What are the live or dies? Because you're more likely, or you would have more likely seen Arteta not get a new contract had we have not qualified this season. If we were in Liverpool's position, or it's not looking like we're getting Champions League, then not winning a league title. I used to say this a few years ago. I feel the culture at our club, and not even the players, I think we'd like to win. We're not dying to win. We got, again, you made it up to us with the summer, Arsenal, but let's be real. A team that really wanted to win. I don't want to remind you lot, and we have to let go of the past to a degree. January last year told me everything. But look at the P's you're getting. And beyond the obvious, what's the difference between Pep Guardiola and Simeone? He's touched the Champions League final. He's won a league. Obviously, I'm not going to judge any manager to the standard of Pep, but when you see Pep, you think winner, no? Arteta, you need to be in them realms. And all the tactics, all that jazz, we can compete, we're competitive, we need to get over the line. Unfortunately, I don't think you can always blame the gaffer, but a team is a reflection of the gaffer. And there is an element of, where do we go from here? God forbid if it goes left. If Arteta does put pen to paper, how much closer he gets to Guardiola and Simeone in terms of pay will be a key question. We know Josh Kroenke's leading the process. Ranieri and Lewis Skelly among 5 players that could leave. While renewing Arteta's deal is an obvious priority heading into the summer, the club will be open for business in terms of player trading. It's nothing new. Every club will be, right? Josh Kroenke was in London towards the end of February, during which he was updated on the club's plans for the summer transfer window. The club brought in 7 permanent signings last summer to deepen the quality of the squad. There's a feeling the team does not require the same level of strengthening now. Well, not in terms of 8 players, but it is going to need something to left wing, centre mid, another defender, maybe another striker, getting rid of certain man in the squad. But it's, again, this is another thing. It's all fun and games saying sell Odegaard, sell Ranieri, even if you just want to make peas, sell Miles Lewis-Skelly, get rid of Ben White, Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli, Trossard. But then you're still going to cry, because if they go and you bring in whoever you want, we're going to have less numbers. And some of the men that we want to move on might not be able to be moved on. Whether they want to move on, there's no real interest in them. Gabriel Jesus, what's going to happen here? Are you going to rip up his contract? Does he want to run? He's got a year left. If we win the league, does he think I can still compete? My family are comfortable here. I don't want to cut nowhere. Is anyone, for his form and obviously where we're at and his wages, is anyone going to be forthcoming with a transfer fee for Gabriel Jesus, let alone pay him handsomely? It might not be that. So it's all fun and games saying sell these guys, sell these guys, sell these guys, do this, do that. Actually start to think. I don't tell you what to think, just think. It don't make sense. And obviously on top of that, we know we've committed 30, 40, maybe even 50 million for Hincapié coming into this window. So this summer, I think it's one where we're like, all right, cool, Berta, reputation, we need to see what you're on type of thing. In which Berta, you did well last summer. You've done well with all the new contracts and all of that jazz. If I'm the players as well, man, want to see some players that can gas us. We've all played Sunday League. We've all played football. There's nothing like your team signing a wavy player. You're excited. You feel you could do things. So, yeah, it is what it is. In terms of incomings, Arsenal's recruitment team are set to target a versatile fullback. Told you. A centre mid. Told you. A left winger. We all knew that. So I didn't quite tell you that. We could all see that. And I wish sometimes we didn't have to watch our left-hand side. While the plan for the summer is in place, Arsenal's recruitment team, led by Andrea Berra, are aware they may also need to react to market conditions and opportunities when they arise. Expect there to be outgoings following the 250 million spend of last summer to ensure the club remains financially sustainable and meets the Premier League's new squad cost ratio rules. I don't doubt that. But then I think every summer we see this. But then on the same token, we're told we're in great financial stead, which leads me to believe we're not like Aston Villa and Newcastle where there's red tape. Any restrictions is because of us. And rightly or wrongly, if I'm the Cronkies, I'm sitting there going, in the last 4 years, we brought in some good players on some big wages. Why aren't you bringing OPs in? Why are some of the highest earners, like, obviously it's changed a bit. Saliba's got a new deal. Saka's got a new deal. Rice has come in, but there was a point. If you used your eyes and said who are the key players, the best players at Arsenal, it will tell you something very different from the wages. And that's another thing. It's too difficult. Obviously, at the time, it probably justified it. But in time that's gone on, it's too difficult to move on Gabriel Jesus. It will be difficult to move on Odegaard. It will be hella difficult if you want to move on Kai Havertz. Trossard's on 100 grand a week. And from a footballing point of view, if I'm any of these players, if I'm comfortable in London, if I'm not a disruptive influence in the change room so the team won't force me out, I'm on big wages, especially because I'm heading towards the end of my career. I ain't put a gun to you lot's head to give me this, so shut up. But nonetheless, among the players the club are expected to listen to offers for are Miles Lewis-Skelly and Ethan Nwaneri, both of whom signed new long-term contracts last summer. Nwaneri has interest from Borussia Dortmund, who obviously have done their thing with that. MLS also has varying degrees of interest from top half Premier League sides. Because the pair came through the academy, their sales would be recorded as pure profit on the balance sheet. There is no initial transfer fee to deduct, a scenario that provides a clear financial attraction. Arsenal sources indicate they would look to recoup a minimum combined 100 million for 1 year in Lewis-Skelly. So I've been saying for the last couple of months, 50 mil pop minimum. Elsewhere, Jesus, White, Martinelli are also among the players the club are understood to be open to selling ahead of next season. Intriguingly, Odegaard enters the final 2 years of his contract this summer, which could raise questions over the Norwegian's future, but it's understood Arteta is minded to keep his captain. Yeah, but if you got Rice, you got Zubi, you bring in a centre mid that's doing his thing, you got Eze, you got Dalman, hopefully keep Nwaneri. At times, you notice how I keep saying Mikel Merino, who I actually, of the three, I probably fuck with the most. Mikel Merino, Odegaard, Kai. Why? Because they're not teachers' pets, but they're the players the gaffer loves. It's going to have to be unpopular decisions. Newcastle trio high on Arsenal's list. In terms of incomings, Arsenal are admirers of Newcastle's fullback Tino Livramento. And with the Magpies likely to sell at least one of their key players this summer, the Gunners are monitoring the England international situation. Why can't we just loan out when you're in MLS if that's the case? Arsenal also hold some interest in Livramento's teammate Sandro Tonali and Anthony Gordon, who the Gunners looked seriously at in the summer of 2025. In terms of Livramento, the fact the 23-year-old is endured an injury-disrupted campaign is understood will be a factor for the Gunners as they consider whether to solidify their interest. Pardon me. Arsenal have also been made aware of Celta Vigo fullback Oscar Mingueza. Didn't he play for Barcelona? Come through their system, who is out of contract at the end of the season. I ain't gonna sit here and say I'm watching Celta Vigo, but I want to make sure I'm not lying to the people. Them, I don't lie to you, lot, bro. And he can play centre half. Well, on paper, I say I want a centre half that can play right back or right back that can play there. You been capped for Spain? Fair, you have. But the Gunners have been heavily linked with Atletico Madrid striker Julian Alvarez, and while their interest is genuine, it's understood either Victor Gyökeres or Kai Havertz would need to leave for the Gunners to step up their interest in the Argentine international. Scored a wonderful goal yesterday. We love him at the carpet. You know we ain't spending no 100-odd million on another striker. I wish we could. I hope better does. As much as I like Gyökeres, you know we're not doing that. Where we probably are going to spend something significant in centre midfield. Obviously, you know, left wing as well. We still have to run Leverkusen their bread for Hincapié. And on paper, there's not been any, you ain't brought no money in or cleared up the wages. So there is a lot to do in terms of incomings and outgoings. So yeah, it will cost us 45 million to complete Hincapié's deal. That needed to be factored in. So whether Arsenal win the league or not, it's set to be a busy and fascinating summer at the Emirates. I just want the right summer, bro. So yeah, to recap, we like Tonali, Gordon, and Livramento. What do we make of that, people? Odegaard's in the final 2 years of his deal. I love Celta. The fact that no other Big Six side would take Arteta as a manager speaks volumes. Really? 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 Forget the fans. Let's not be dumb. We really don't think United Arteta can't do wonders there. And I'm not even gassing up Arteta. Liverpool would slot. Really? Chelsea with Liam Rosenthal. Really? He was probably groomed for the City job. If I was a City fan, I'll definitely want Arteta over Maresca. Company be the one I want above both, if not Luis Enrique or Xabi Alonso. Really? And this ain't me trying to gas him. Like, I thought we were football purists here. I thought we used our common sense here. Really? What the signing with think we need in the summer position-wise? Huh? I'm not sure what you mean there, my boy. If you're saying the signings I think are priority, centre mid and left wing, imperative. Hale End being ripped to shreds for Odegaard fan base will officially be done when they sell Dalman. They're not going to sell Dalman, at least not anytime soon. Players who leave clubs all the time. I've seen Thierry Henry leave. What else is there? Tasha, this is a bit too emotional, man. And if I'm really honest with that, that's not Odegaard's fault. If anything, it's Mikel Arteta. Don't get it twisted, people. Dalman is next to the transfer list. Arteta hates talent. So why are he playing him? Why is he playing the 16-year-old? Why did he bring him on at Anfield, let alone everything he's done since he came on? By all means, hold Mikel Arteta or anyone in this world accountable. But let's actually hold them accountable for what they should be held accountable for. Arsenal fans need to grow up. They'll complain that Ox is the record sell, but then cry when MLS or Wanyeri suggested with a move. We have to learn to sell when it hurts, I'm afraid. I can't lie. Hindsight will be the only thing. There's no reason to sell Wanyeri or Miles Lewis Skelly. If anything, they could go on loan. And if anything, if you really don't believe that they can make it here, would it not make more sense? MLS, Wanyeri, let's pick you out some right loans. You go get 30 plus appearances in the league. They might be 50 million a pop now. Next season, they might be, I'm exaggerating, but they might be 100 million players. And going back to that hates talent thing, it don't make sense. Like, I don't think Arteta's the biggest fan of talent, but he's given several players debuts. He, you know, former wonder kid Odegaard, he brought him here. Odegaard's probably got his biggest standing in the game here. Saka obviously had a numerous well, Saka's progressed under Mikel Arteta, not so much now. Smith Rowe did the same. Martinelli did the same. And I therefore feel Arteta has issues with young players at times, but at the same time, we're trying to win. So it's not really fair. As I said, let's hold people accountable for what they need to be held accountable. Arteta's wife must be rolling in Birkins. And for me, it's the fact that, bro, he's on peace. I want Krupti, man. I'm on that. Smash the likes hyper. I mean, if he wins fair, but no trophy be unacceptable this season in a contract extension, Mikel himself said we should have higher standards. Do you know why I can't get mad at Mikel? I'm more looking at those above him. Because obviously what people say in the press is very different, but we can just do our search. Because you see me, I always remember stuff. December of 2025. What do you see there? Mikel Arteta and Arsenal future. I have to earn new Arsenal contract, which then again, what is your KPIs? Because internally, they might think you earned it. For me, earning it is we finally got the Prem. We've got a champs. We've got some silverware. For them, I don't know. I don't know. And again, do you know what? This isn't quite the more delicate. How do I make it make sense? This ain't quite the most in-depth piece I was expecting when Sammy Motbell came out with his stuff. But yeah, man. Odegaard enters the final 2 years of his deal. He's had a stop-start season. We've been linked to Julian Alvarez, as you guys know. So clearly we're looking at a versatile fullback, a centre mid, and a left winger. So 3 to 4 signings. I personally think we could sign another midfielder if Norgard goes. I think we'll definitely sign the keeper. I personally, people think Norgard's gone. I think Norgard and Kepa are cutting people, if I'm brutally honest. So yeah, that's what they'll be. It didn't have to be that way. You see, clubs don't care, man. Clubs don't care, bro. They'll tell you everything under the sun. Once you sign the deal, you're out there doing. I mean, you could make me feel a bit better if you get Morgan Rodgers, though. Arsenal, United, Chelsea have renewed their interest in Morgan Rodgers for this summer. Aston Villa's valuation is likely to exceed 80 million. However, potentially selling Rodgers would likely be the most straightforward way to alleviate their financial pressures. So many things to unpack with that. The first thing, I want Morgan Rodgers. You can see, do you know how, again, because we're talking about youth people are trying to school me of all people and youth talent. Please type in Delulu Good and Morgan Rodgers, because you'll see a video from years ago. You know, I found out about him. We under 18s level. I think Arsenal, I can't remember. I definitely said the score in the vid. I think Arsenal's under 18s battered West Brom. West Brom's under 18s about 4-5-1. This man ran the show. His physicality and what you see him do now, his ability to glide past people, caught my eye. Obviously, he rocked up at City, went Borough. He is where he is now. As I was saying, there's so much to unpack with this. I look at anything Aston Villa, in Morgan Rodgers' case with Arsenal, in the same way I look at Newcastle, in the sense that Aston Villa and Newcastle, you always hear, FFP, they're in issues if they don't get Champions League. Less so in Aston Villa's case now, more so in Newcastle's, they could sell players. Big players are always, so that's where I think some of the rumours come from. Every club is interested in the Morgan Rodgers and all of the best of the rest in the Premier League. That's another thing. Also, did he not just sign a new deal? Also, maybe less so much for Newcastle because there's so many players, but Aston Villa, there's a couple of players and situations and solutions you will look to deal with before you sell Morgan Rodgers, especially if you get the Champions League. Now, do I think more in life? Everybody wants to aspire for more. Morgan Rodgers might say, you know what, I do fancy living in London. Arsenal project, historically a big club. Man United, by that same token, need no introduction. The same. Chelsea, your pal Palmer's over there and whatnot. I would rather spend 80 to 100 million on Morgan Rodgers than the Nico Williams, the Leaos, all of these guys. Not that I think they're bad players, but I've seen Morgan Rodgers excel out there, and he's got a lot. He's able to play in midfield. I'm cool with that. He's a shoe-in for Tuchel squad, potentially even going to be one of the poster boys for England going into that. He's got 3 years left in his contract. And what has become the theme, if you don't grab these players before they rock up where they're rocking up and doing what they're doing, if you're not going to pay the going rate, forget about it. And I can't see us doing that. So it's a non-story. Arsenal could sell either Trossard or Martinelli owing to performance and contractual reasons. Arsenal have an option to extend Martinelli's contract by 1 year to 2028, but may offer him a new longer deal if he's willing to be a squad player. There's no willing, bro. You've got to be a squad player because you ain't brought nothing else to the table. Hamburg are planning to hold talks with Arsenal over a permanent move for Fabio Vieira. The midfielder joined the German club on loan last summer, and he has been in fine form this season. Vieira has scored 5 times and provided the same number of assists in 23 Bundesliga appearances. He's helped Hamburg climb to 12th in the table, and they should avoid relegation after being promoted. The German side would love to keep hold of Vieira. The loan agreement they stuck with Arsenal has a buy option in it. Hamburg can make the midfielders move permanent for 20 million euros in brackets that equates to 17.4 million at the end of this season. Now, we all knew in the summer they were going to do this. It's not an obligation, it's an option. We all knew they were going to do this. Yeah, man. Well, listen, he's going to have a great spell, man. We're going to pay you that bread, man, Arsenal. Don't worry. Next year, link up, man. Shout me. The minute it gets to now, did we really agree to 70 mil? What? You can't do that for 10. He's got X amount on his contract, and we know you need to get rid of him. We know you need to get rid of many a player. You really want to dedicate time to this? We would be doing the same. They may be reluctant to pay the full amount, though, and talks with Arsenal are due to take place. We signed him for 30 mil. He has 1 year left on his contract at the end of this season, and Arsenal are ready to cash in. So probably incompetency from us. Fair play from Hamburg, really. Our hope is that Hamburg don't mess about, or there's other interested parties that say, you know what, 17 mil, have that, cut. Vieira's good form means the Gunners could stand firm on Hamburg paying the full amount of his buy option, as other clubs will likely be interested. We know we stayed in Lisbon for an extra day. Nobody that cares about Quenda, bro. What's this got to do with Arsenal? Big up Max Dowman. James Ellis, as I spoke about people, James Ellis left. So that's another reason as to why when you're seeing all these people leave above board and Berta's just come in, they're going to keep Mikel Arteta. So yeah. And big up our under 15s. They're shelling it down in the Beijing Cup. We're not getting Julian Alvarez. So that was a bit of a pointless one, wasn't it? Apart from the Fabio news. What's this? The Norwegian managers on Odegaard's injury said a small setback. I think he'll be back on the pitch for too long. You just return back to work, mate. Fair play, though. Why is this freezing? Big up you lot. Smash the like button if you haven't, people. Fabio Vieira would still be better than Odegaard. Never. Like, come on, let's cut the crap. Fabio's shit, bro. And what I mean by shit is you're not shit. You're technically sweet. I can see why you're a professional footballer. You're not physically ready. You're not ready for this thing. For me, do you want to go back to Porto? Porto, if we give you Fabio, I know this very rarely happens, but if we give you Fabio Vieira and some bread, can we get the Mora guy? 20 mil is half of Hamburg's budget. Why is the mouse gone? More for us for getting twanged then. More for us for getting twanged. Arsenal players not spotted in first team training today. Hincapié, Timber, Calafiori, Odegaard, and Bukayo Saka, folks. Eze has returned to full Arsenal training ahead of the Bournemouth game, and he's also won March Player of the Month. Anyone having Rafa Leao, people? He's apparently available for 50 million euros owing to this report, which I did cover in a video that must have come out like 4 hours ago. And apparently we're set to beat Liverpool in the Diamande race after key talks. He's become our top target at Arsenal. I've seen this before. There's no way I'm reading all this because there's no way of looking at the credibility. We know we need an inside forward. Liverpool owing to Salah going. The links are going to be there. He's been linked with these two, been linked with Paris Saint-Germain, actually been linked with Bayern Munich. Not that they need any more attackers. That should be the least of their problems. Okay, that's behind the paywall, so we're not going to bother with that. So yeah, as I said, he needs to earn a new contract. So yeah, man want Gordon when Leao Bacola would be light years better. I'm having Bacola, I'm having Gordon, I'm having Leao, I'm having Nico Williams, but none of them are 100% convinced me. So I'd rather just slap the bread on Rodgers, man. Because how much are they going to ask for Gordon? You're looking at 70 plus. Leao, we saw 50 and he's got his contract running out. Bacola, you're kind of reliant on seeing what's going on at PSG, innit? So yeah, man. Contract talk should be end of the season. He exited the cups with bigger fish to fry as excuses. To be fair, he never said that. If Teta can get us the Prem this season, 1 year contract to see if he's going to change /trophies. I mean, if I'm Arteta, I'm getting 2 years, man. Premier League proven a multi-position. Agreed, we need to act like a big club. Which position would Rodgers play at Arsenal? He could play everywhere, bro. For me, I see him playing off the left, but there's no reason why you can't be utilized in midfield. You can't, well, probably not Rice, but in one of the midfield pivot roles or that 10. Because shit, a man play everywhere. Respectfully to them, Kai Havertz, Marino, you're playing everywhere, bro. He needs Ethan to help drive a new style, beat your man expansive football next season. It's a must. But I can't. Nah, I'm not gonna say it. Nah, man. I disagree with just blaming Kepa for us going out of the cups. Who bought him? And I'm not saying you, but all these people that are onto Kepa, they will say, "Oh, you gotta play him. It's unfair. We got 2 great keepers." If I'm honest with you, I don't believe that, because if you're telling me Kepa's the reason we lost against, for 90 minutes, we weren't good enough against Southampton ultimately to get through, and how we conducted ourselves in that final, every other of the 10 outfield players should have been 20 out of 10 then. And that should be the only factor. The only factor we should be is us and Southampton competed. Kepa, which is not fair. It's not true against Southampton. Had a gaff. We competed with City. Kepa's fucked up. We couldn't score. It's not true, is it? And the gaffer's the one putting them out there. And honestly, when it comes to playing with his feet and whatnot, I actually think Kepa gives it in line to his limitations. You give it a good goal. So Arteta the one putting you out there. Everybody's talking about Sporting Lisbon, all the saves Raya made, and he does. That's what you want your keeper to do. It weren't perfect, but why do you think we moved the ball a bit better? Because Raya is obviously a passing option. That's why we care about goalkeepers with their feet. So this is where, like, and another thing that pees me off about the gaffer, as much as I like him, you don't learn fast enough from the things we need you to learn from. We are 10% of the way. We're 90% of the way to doing something. And I felt this last year and the year before. It's the 10%. As I keep saying, if we want to get to somewhere we haven't been before, we all need to be something we haven't. And unfortunately, gaffer and players, even though we're still fighting, we've only lost a handful of times this season, I don't see anything different. Of course, I can nitpick, but I don't see anything significantly different. So I'm at the point, you got 7 or 8 games left in the Premier League. You know what you need to do. Champions League, fingers crossed. Let's get the parade done in May, innit? Big up DG in the chat. Question for DG. Who are your first and second choice signings for left wing and centre mid? Centre mid, I wouldn't mind Tonali. I'd kind of just want to be a Premier League prover, man. Left wing, my only first choice would be Morgan Rodgers. Obviously, he can play everywhere else. Other than that, I don't really care. I'd rather go get some youth from Brazil, if I'm brutally honest. Hot take, like if you're asking me for a hot take, and he's a centre mid, but it's not really. Alex Scott of Bournemouth. I wouldn't mind Elliot Anderson, but we're not involved for them kind of things, man. Okay, we'll go back to Maitland-Niles over Tim, but I'm not so emotional over our youngsters. They should play because they're good enough, not because they're Hale End. And normally I agree, but no one's going to tell us Miles Lewis-Skelly and Wanyeri good enough, man. They are, man. They are, man. But it is what it is, man. Yeah, the team was dead, bro. Team was dead. Raffley out front would be decent for us. Raffley out as a striker. Free my people, man. I'm actually looking forward to the window. Normally disappointed, but I feel as if Bertol can make things happen. I just don't want no more projects. No more fairly seasoned projects. You can get as many of the random youths from Brazil and all these places, but no more expensive projects, man. Any player that starts with, if Mikel can, I'll back them, because once you sign for my club, you get backed in it. I do give you that. There's no point drawing you out and whatever. If you play good, I'll praise you. You look shaky, I'm going to ask questions. But if a sentence starts like that with any, especially in midfield and up front, drop me out, man. You told me what you signed. You've shown me what we signed up for. DG on midfield, I think we need a specialist 8. No more he can play there. Bro, if we could get if you could, easier said than done. But what I would like is that Santi Cazorla midfielder or an Aaron Ramsey sort of midfielder, just because in this present day, it's all about athleticism and running in behind, man. So, yeah. DG Arteta knew Pep would start Trafford, yet he still chose to start Kepa and not take advantage. But the difference with Trafford's good with the ball at his feet. That's why I don't understand it, because you still try and play this. You actually at times play more direct when Raya's there. You're more telling Raya, kick it long. Kepa, you don't really do that. The way I see it, and hindsight's a wonderful thing, like, you're better off getting one of them Bandulu keepers who are mediocre at the traditional goalkeeping stuff, but they're able to play with their feet, because you still try and, that's one thing. Obviously, I'm not naive. The manager probably does adjust things, but I don't think you adjust things enough according to certain members of personnel. It's like you try and make Kepa do Raya stuff. And that's why I feel sorry for Kepa, because I think you're shit. I actually think you gave a good goal of things. You're just not good enough. You're just not good enough with a ball at your feet. And then when you see the way City set up, which maybe not the same way, but in terms of centre-half goalie, have the ball. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because what was happening? We couldn't play. We tried to change our shape. They sat off us. When we did go long, and the rare time an Arsenal man won it, one, we're not winning the first and second duels, but when a one man's winning it, you've got one red shirt, 70,000 City shirts. It don't make sense. Football's a complicated game, but it's also simple. You got to go from that end to that end, The only time I've seen you change things is when you've had Marino up front. That's when we set up little traps in the press. in my opinion. Cazorla was the last true 8 we had at our club. Forest 1-1. Thoughts on Zubimendi so far? Had a bit of a downer. I think he's had a good season. I think he's overplayed. Therefore needs to. I don't trust him. I love him. I don't really trust him in them typical end-to-end kind of games. I feel in hindsight, and obviously if Norgard's here, you got to utilize him. I think we've ran many a player into the ground. I think Rice and Zubi have been ran into the ground. That's why they've generally had good seasons, but there's been times it's been a bit of a slugfest. Still want another mid, and that's why I'm so big on grabbing a Tonali or this one or that one, just so maybe, for argument's sake, if you've got Elliot Anderson or Tonali, Rice, Zubi, there's not much in it. Maybe the gaffer says, you know what, Zubi, you can take a rest today, whatever. Maybe if Odegaard's season wasn't stop, start, and we're at where we're at with Eze, you might have seen more of like Eze and Odegaard play together, one of Rice or Zubi. I think he tried to run that against West Ham, where he dropped Zubi. Obviously, Odegaard got injured, which has been, what's the right word? Like a familiar theme of Odegaard's season. Next season, we need to experiment Zubi 8. True. Yeah, but the thing is, they do that. At times, Rice is the deepest, and then he goes in his 8 stuff. At times, Zubi's the deepest or the furthest forward. Because as much as Zubi might be playing as a 6, he's scored the most goals in his club career. So you're adding most of that. And I am disappointed in midfield because I felt we could have got away from that 8-6 debate. Man are doing a bit of everything like what you see with PSG. Yes, we have not got PSG's quality in midfield, but you get the point. This is where I'm saying, Arteta, all the tools are in the toolbox. I need to see how good the tradesman is now. You win mid league, great, but there's a lot of things that need to be dramatically improved. And you could argue if we win the league, for people like myself that try and give you praise where they can and try and analyze things, we've got to be even more harsher. I'm not talking about crash out and emotional and doing all of that kind of stuff, but you get the point, man. I'm not Arteta in or out on trophy base. Bring the trophies so you can hold the wheel. I'm on that. I hear that. And that's where we're at now. It's a silverware thing. We know you're a good manager and you're good players. But now you have to rise up. You can't have your cake and eat it, bro. There's been too much explaining. So I hope, fingers, toes, everything crossed, we do what needs to be done. But I'm on that. I love Rice, but there have been a few games this season where Zubi, Marino, Odegaard worked. Give him more tools for the toolbox. But you got all the tools. I want to see Rice. Wharton would be lovely. With Rice, I want to see Rice and Wharton pivot with Rice on the right so we can see him cross more in open play. It'd be nice. A part of me would love to see him go over there. I did feel we might at one point see MLS on the left, Rice on the right, but like the gaffer ain't fucking with that, is he? Our best midfielder is Declan, Zubi, and Eze. If they can stay fit, that's a balanced midfield. Yeah, but that's my point. That is good, and I hope they can stay fit. Definitely what's left of the season, but from August to now, where you got 38 Premier League games, you throw in the expanded league phase, Champions League, you throw in the FA Cup and the League Cup. These players are all playing for their countries, and that's not going to stop anytime soon. It's a fallacy. Injuries can strike at any time. We've brought in more players from August to now. We should actually have a quiz. Who has not been injured at our football club this year? Who hasn't been injured? Kepa, have they had knocks? Kepa, maybe Lewis Skelly. I'm not sure. I'm sure Lewis Skelly's had a knock. I stand corrected if I'm wrong. I'm sure Lewis Skelly's had a knock. I'm sure Wanyeri, when he was here, had a knock. Norgard started the season, therefore had a knock. Rice has therefore had an injury. Zubi's definitely had an injury. Eze's definitely had an injury. Odegaard's definitely had an injury. Jesus has had an injury. Saka's had an injury. Noni's had an injury. Dalman's had an injury. Help me out. Trossard's had an injury. Martinelli's had an injury. Gyökeres has had an injury. Marino has had an injury. And if I'm not remembering, you might not be good still. Timbers had definitely. Timbers cold. Timbers had an injury. Ben White's had an injury. Mascara's had an injury. Saliba's had an injury. Gabriel Magalhaes has had an injury. Now, this could be down to the players, the nature of the game, rehabilitation, rotation, or just fucking everything. Which it probably is, guys and girls. Probably my goalies. Our goalies. Odegaard gets the knock, Eze returns. So it's one, bro, you get it. And this is why, I always say, because even this year and last year, we have that little weird period where there's bare injuries. It looks like bare man are coming back at what, like 3-4 players are coming back. We start doing everybody's fit now. We can calm it down and whatnot. I'm exaggerating, but these 6 players come back today. Tomorrow, 2 are gone. So like I've been saying from August to now, at this point, whoever's in the match day squad, either on the bench or in the 11, that's all I can think about, innit? Hincapie's had an injury. Smash the likes if you haven't. So more Calafiori's had an injury. So you get it. Everyone's had an injury. Because he don't rate Lewis Kelly in midfielders, either with the tactics he wants to deploy this season, his other options, or there's something Lewis Kelly ain't got to his game. Or sometimes as a man, there might be nothing. The manager's just not feeling your thing. Let's be honest, Arteta's management has not been the best over the years, from Pepe performing then getting dropped, overplaying Saki, name it, fact. DJ, I do feel like the shackles of progressive play will come off if we get the Prem. I hear that. And I do think on one hand, like, it is what it is. Let's just get over the line now. But on the other hand, there's no guarantee. Because if we fast forward next season, I'm going to say the same things. And somebody's clipped this and quote me. The same things I've said about the attacking play this year, I'll say it again. I think some people think pre-season is some welds you go off and you fix up everything. It's a couple of weeks. I need to see some little sprouts. But I'll give you pre-season. First 10 games of the season, like from game week 1 to game week 10. Don't get twisted. We need to win, but it's all about building up fitness. Game week 10 is now where I need to see evident building blocks. And that hasn't been the case. And then even if you skip forward, how much of that, like the initial building blocks, can be done if we're not trying now? Because you got a World Cup where, depending on how far you go in the competition, Rice, Saliba, Gabriel, Magalhaes, you're not going to have too much time over preseason to work with these guys. Because everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly, is a result of the training ground. The things we're good at, good defensive habits. The things we're bad at, bad attacking habits or whatever. Same with Liverpool. I said it in the summer. If I was a Liverpool fan, would have been gassed about the summer they had, all these kind of things. But recruitment, they didn't do the unglamorous stuff. They didn't look after it. They didn't go and get the 6. They didn't go and get a right back, proper right back. They didn't get a couple of centre halves. As much as you can blame Slot, they went to our back 5 yesterday, right back 3 or whatever. So they had more men behind the ball, but they're fucking shit in terms of their shape and their compactness. They're kind of lucky, in my opinion. PSG just knew that we've won, innit? So again, these are the things. So when is that gonna? I won't hold my breath. There's some games we're winning, and I'm like, why not rest some players that are starters? Smash the likes. I don't trust Arteta to win again post this season. I feel like way too many things fell our way this year that will happen again. I can't DG contract talks for real. See it in front of me, man. You can see it in front of me, man. Zubi has a quality finish, better going forward than what I've seen from Rice. We need to explore him in the 8 because he scores bangers this season while mostly being a 6. You got to remember, like, you're 6. You got to remember how these Spanish man work. David Raya and Zubi, as obviously centre half. David Raya and Zubi, they're your first focal points of attack. That's why he plays. They don't believe. Obviously, Rice has done it, and couple games when it's trenches and we just need to make tackles and do all of that jazz. That's Rice. Rice ain't the guy, and he can do better. Rice ain't the guy to be receiving off the centre halves and silky passes. That's why you see Rice. Obviously, he's getting goals and doing all of that. But Arteta's clearly going, you know what? You got an engine, you know. I like to win the ball back as quickly and as high as I can. I like to press. Go do that in their half. Zubi govern and conduct the thing. Bologna's beating Villa 1-0. Damn. So I guess with that being said, people, we've been here for an hour and 8 minutes. Time's flow, man. You lot have been in top form. If you haven't smashed the like button, please make sure you do. I imagine Mikel Arteta is going to have his press conference tomorrow, so we'll go over what we need to go over. But regardless, Saturday, early morning kickoff, we'll be doing a watch-along for Arsenal, Brighton, Chelsea City, I'm sure. Anyway, there's free watch-alongs from myself in it. And, of course, Wednesday, Sporting Lisbon. But, yeah, man, you lot, regardless of if I agree, disagree, we're a family here. Don't tell you what to think, just think. Really love the platform that we're building. If you haven't subscribed, smash the like button. What you're doing, there should be some TalkSport highlight clips coming out at this moment in time. So go have a butchers. Make sure you're following on all the socials. Leave a comment in the comment section under the video. And most importantly, to you and your loved ones, stay blessed, stay safe. One love. You always just